Hi friends, welcome to Magic Mustache Math. I am Miss Cosmos, and today we are going to be doing topic 10.1, multiply a fraction by a whole number, and you will find this on page 463 of your math textbook. So looking at our solve and share, Sasha walked 1/2 mile every day for 5 days. How far did she walk? Draw a picture or use a model to help solve the problem. So I'm going to get a piece of paper and I'm going to write down our problem. So we have 1/2 mile and we are multiplying. So 1/2 mile times 5 days because she walked 1/2 mile for each of the 5 days. So how are we going to solve this? It says to draw a picture or use a model. If I'm drawing a picture of 1/2 mile, I would have, here's a hole, and then here's my half. And since we're doing this for 5 days, I'm going to go ahead and draw 5 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have half filled in for each of them. So these are my 5 halves. So what do I do with this? Well, we can start moving these over and filling in to make holes. So I'm going to get a different color. I'm going to use green. So I'm going to take this fraction or this portion of the fraction right here and I'm going to fill it in up here. So now this equals 1 and this is now gone. This is a 0, so this one goes away. I'm going to do the same thing right here. So I'm going to use this part, this half, to fill in this half to make another hole, and now this part of the fraction is gone. So now I've got 2 holes and I have 1/2 left over. I have nothing else that I can add to this, so it just stays a half. So my answer to 1/2 times 5 ends up being 2.5. So on the look back, how does using a model help you multiply a fraction by a whole number? It just kind of helps us because it gives us a visual and it shows us what portion of things we have so that we know we can take some and fill it in to make a whole. It's just a visual representation of what we already know with fractions. Now, I'm going to show you kind of the super secret easy way that you can do this. Are you ready? So if I have the same problem, 1/2 times 5, the super secret way to do this. So if I have 5 holes, all I have to do to make it into a fraction is to put it over a 1. And the reason this works is if I have 1, this tells me how many pieces I have. So if I have 1 piece and filling in 1 piece makes a hole, 1 equals a hole. And I have 5 of them. So that means I have 5 holes, which is the same thing as just saying 5. So you can always just put any whole number over 1 to make it a fraction. And when you have 2 fractions and you're multiplying them, you just multiply straight across. So 1 times 5 equals 5. 2 times 1 equals 2. Now we have 5 over 2. And if we bring this down here, I needed a little bit more space, so I brought it down here. If I'm trying to pull out holes because I know that this top number is larger than my bottom number, the number that I have to pull out is 2, 2 because of this 2 on the bottom. So 2, 2, that is 1 whole. And all I have to do is subtract. 5 minus 2 equals 3, and my bottom stays the same. I still have a larger number on the top than I do the bottom, so I can take out another whole, which would be a 2, 2. So I'm going to take out another 2, 2. This takes out another whole or another 1, and I still just subtract across the top. 3 minus 2 is 1, and my denominator or number on the bottom stays the same. It stays the same all the way across every time you do this. So now you can see that you have 1, 2 wholes, and then we just add our 1/2 that's left over. So you get 2 and 1/2, the same as we did up here by using our model. Go ahead and turn the page, and you will see on page 464. So right here, Joan wants to make 6 batches of fruit punch. How many cups of orange juice does she need? She needs to find 6 times 2/3. And here's the model right here. So we have our repeated addition, because remember, that's all that multiplication really is. It's just adding the same thing over and over and over. 6 times 2/3 is the same as 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3, 6 times, right? So here's their model. Here are 2/3 filled in, and you can do the same thing that we did before. So if I take away this one to fill in this one, this makes a whole. And then if I take away, let's see, I'll take this one here, take this one away, and fill in this one. So now this one is gone because I've used it to fill in these other 2 and make them wholes. Let's see if I can do this again. So if I take away this one and fill in this one, now this is a whole, and then I need to fill in one right here, and I'm going to use this one right here. So now this one is gone, and I have 2 more wholes. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in total. Now, if you were to do this the super secret way, we have, I'll get a piece of paper here. If you're going to do it the super secret way, we've got 6 times 2/3, okay? And we're just going to put our 6 over a 1 to make it a fraction and multiply across. So 6 times 2 is 12, 1 times 3 is 3, and then we're going to pull out our wholes. So we know that because the 3's on the bottom, we're going to need to have 3, 3. This makes a whole. We're going to subtract. 12 minus 3 is 9. It's still bigger on the top than it is the bottom, so we're going to pull out another whole, another 3/3, and we're going to subtract. 9 minus 3 is 6. Our 3 on the bottom stays the same. It is still larger up here, so we're going to take out another whole, which would be 3/3. So at this point we have 1, 2, 3 wholes that we've taken out, and we subtract across the top. 6 minus 3 is 3/3. And look at that, we have one last whole, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So another way that you can do this without having to do the repeated subtraction to pull out your wholes, having 12/3, this is just the same as saying divided by. So you can think of a fraction bar as divided by. 12 divided by 3 equals 4. Now, real quick, looking at this big complicated mess right here, they just want you to know that the associative property allows you to separate your numbers so that you can multiply your wholes together. So in taking your 2/3, they're saying that it's the same thing or it's equal to 2 times 1/3. Because if you were to draw a picture of 2/3, you would have 1, 2 shaded in. They're saying this is the same thing as having 1, 1/3, and 1/3 shaded in. Okay, that's all they're saying. So they're breaking it apart. So because of this, you can take 6 times 2/3, and it's the same thing as saying 6 times 2 1/3. Now, because you've pulled out this whole, they're going to use the associative property to, instead of doing 6 times 2 times 1/3, they're going to do this, and they're going to move those parentheses and do 6 times 2, okay? And then times it all by 1/3. So 6 times 2 is 12, and then you times that by 1/3, and you end up getting, if you were to do our super secret way, 12 times 1 is 12, and 1 times 3 is 3. So that's where they get this right here, okay? And then they're just doing the same thing that we did up here. They're pulling out the wholes, or if you know how to divide, you can just say 12 divided by 3 equals 4. All right, my friends, thank you for joining me for Magic Mustache Math. I will see you next time.